What's up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN. I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with this man. He is UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, who was in Las Vegas on Friday to fly to Fight Island. Didn't fly to Fight Island for a little while. His fight against Gilbert Burns was canceled, but now we got a new opponent. He will be fighting Jorge Masvidal at UFC 251 in a matter of what are we 5 days away now from the UFC 251 main event? Kamaru, how are you feeling with everything that's going on in the last 48 hours?
Man, let's really touch on the sequence of events. I was here on Thursday in Las Vegas,
Thursday.
quarantine Thursday to Friday. We were supposed to take off on Friday. We found out it's a positive test. All right, no fight. You're done. We tried to reach out to Masvidal. He said no. We reached out to Covington. He said no. So no fight. All right. You can eat now. You're good. You can leave Vegas. Pack bags, get to the airport, fly out, connecting in Dallas, Texas, which happens to be home to my mom and dad. So while in Dallas, Texas, get a call, landing off the plane. Hey, so I think they're saying yes to the fight. Masvidal is going to step in. You have a fight. But I'm going home to Florida. But you got to fight now. All right, you know what? This is what champions do. I'm going to turn back around and I'm going to go out there now and do this all over again. So spend the night in Dallas. Bags get sent to Florida. Have someone pick them up and fly them back to Florida. Then get on the plane the next morning, yesterday morning, get here, quarantine, and here we have it. We're doing the same thing over and over again. So it's been a roller coaster, but at the end of the day, this is what champions are made of, And you can't always control a lot of the situation, a lot of the circumstances that happen on the outside. But on my part, what I can control is being prepared to go out and do my job, and that's the best that I can hope for.
So how much time went by from the point where they tell you Burns is out to Colby and Masvidal are out too? Like, how long was that window while you were in Vegas?
I heard, and this is the crazy thing is it's hard to get a straight answer from everybody because of the people the forces that may be. We were tested on Thursday while we were here, and we had to quarantine the whole 24 hours. So being tested on Thursday, on Friday morning, found out the news Burns wasn't going to be able to compete. And then we were tested this go around yesterday, and by last night, they had known that whether or not this fight was going to be a go. So you wait almost 18 hours the previous time go around with Burns, and then with Masvidal, it's almost like, oh, we know he's good to go. So that's what I'm saying. That's why it's kind of difficult to determine who's being what here. But between this whole process, it's been since, let's say, Thursday night, and now it's Monday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, it's been a couple of days.
But it was pretty quick though, that initial time where they told you, hey, Gilbert's out, and then did they just straight up tell you that, hey, we've already reached out to Colby and Jorge and we don't have a fight for you? Or were they like, hey, we're trying to fix this? Like what had happened immediately when they told you that Burns was out?
So that's what I mean is I found out about 18 Friday morning, and we were tested Thursday.
Yeah.
So finding out Friday and loosely found out from my manager. So at that point, I'm pretty sure they had started working on other opponents. They reached out to certain guys and weren't really getting the response they wanted. And at that point, Friday, they were like, there's no fight. These guys aren't, these guys are coming out in the media saying, oh, yeah, I want the fight. I want this fight. But they've told the company, no, they're not prepared to take the fight. And with Masvidal, I guess the case was always negotiation for him. So, thankfully they got the deal done, and I have a fight.
How are you feeling initially when you get in on a flight back to Texas? You put in a training camp, and then you don't think you're fighting anymore. What was that like for you?
It was tough, but I came to terms with it very quickly. I don't know whether it was because it was Gilbert that I was fighting, Um, it was when they told me initially, I was upset and I was disappointed, but I just go back to my mental, just keeping myself centered and knowing that I did my part. I did the best that I could to make this event go on. And unfortunately, everything else was out of my control. There was nothing I could do. So I came to terms with that fairly quickly, give or take a few hours. and and I was on the flight back. I had a good Friday night of consuming food.
So Friday night, yeah, Friday night you eat because you think there's no fight. Saturday is the day you find out there is a fight. Okay. So what did you eat on Friday, and what impact does that have on your ability to make weight for this fight?
I ate good. I ate good. We all know there's some amazing restaurants here in Las Vegas. So I went and I ate. I ate well, and then I got back to my room after eating closer to midnight, 1 o'clock, and that wasn't enough for me. I wasn't satisfied with the fact that I could eat now. I had ordered some now African traditional food, and this is something that weighs you down very heavy on the carbs, which I've been kind of avoiding in order to keep this weight off. And I went in on the food. I was half asleep while I was eating the food, just stuffing my face and just gotta finish this food. And then Friday, the craziest thing is I haven't had a beer in I don't know how long, maybe 10 months. And I'm actually at the airport and I'm walking by this Mexican restaurant in the airport in Dallas, DFW. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have a beer and I'm gonna order some Mexican food. I have the Mexican food. I had tacos and a quesadillas and rice and beans, all of it in the plate. As soon as I'm getting it, I had a beer, Bud Light. As soon as I'm getting it, I'm sitting it down. I'm literally twisting the cap off. This is 100% honest. I'm twisting the cap off. My phone rings. It's Ali. Like, hey, you got to fight. Well, let's go ahead and put this cap back on.
Oh my God.
I don't even take one swig of it. Not even one. Don't eat the food. Just kind of left it and got up and moved on.
So you flew to Dallas by yourself?
Yes.
So was there anybody in like how were the airports? Was there anyone in the airport? Was there anyone sitting in the restaurant
there's
with you?
people in the airports. It's kind of, it's slowly coming back. I would say it's probably about at a 30% right now of the norm. And so it's slowly picking back up, but it was good to where I could kind of hide out. Nowadays everyone got masks, and I have a mask, I have a hoodie on, I have a hat on. So it was easy to kind of navigate through the airport.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to know, is if anybody saw you and said, hey man, sorry, the fight's off, this or that. That didn't happen, huh?
One girl did actually see me. Yeah, she saw me. She was sitting behind me. And I think I must have been on the phone with Ali before I took off. And so she could hear my conversation. And so when I was in Dallas, I was on the tram, and she was in front of me in the tram. And she's like, sorry about you not having a fight. I was like, is she talking to me? Because I kind of had headphones on. Is she talking to me? So I take my headphones off. She's like, sorry about the fight. I know who you are. I was behind you. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. But besides that, I had a hat on. And the face mask really helped as far as being incognito. They help a lot.
Yeah. So you're sitting there in a Mexican restaurant and you get a call that Jorge Masvidal has agreed to take this fight. I mean, what goes through your mind?
Initially it's like, okay, now I have to mentally get refocused and tap back in and mentally refocus to take on another guy. And I'm sitting there, and I had to make a couple of calls to just kind of my counsel, and made a couple of calls to the people that I really respect their guidance and their counsel, and all systems was a go. I hung up the phone, took a couple of deep breaths, and said, all right, let's get it. And then then you start seeing all the headlines, you start seeing all the different things, and it's like, they made me a little uncomfortable, but it is what it is. That's been a story of my career.
What do you mean it made you a little uncomfortable? What do you mean by that?
No, I mean there's already a built-in excuse here. You start seeing all the headlines, and you see all the things they're posting. Everyone's posting, even ESPN MMA is posting it. Everyone, it's like, George Masvidal steps in on 6 days notice, and and it's all, oh yeah, Masvidal's stepping in, Masvidal's doing this. They're trying to still keep this guy up as if he has one guy that he's been training for the whole entire time, which is me. While I just did a full training camp for another guy. And I'm the one risking everything. This is a win-win for him. I'm risking everything. And the story right now, the storyline is, oh, Masvidal stepping in on 7 days notice to take on the champ. And I'm the one risking everything here. I had to say yes as well. But no, it's Masvidal stepping in and doing all this. So if he goes out and after he gets beat up, then it's a built-in excuse. Oh, well, he took the fight on 7 days notice anyways, And so, yeah, that makes me a little uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, it's the story of my career, So I have to go out there and do my job. As my friend says, it's at the end of the day, people are going to remember who won and who lost. So,
yeah. And I mean, is there anything that you can do to change that narrative other than win? I mean, do you think about, like, is there a way in which you could win? Is there, talking about it in interviews?
No.
Or is that just how it is?
That's just how it is. At the end of the day, people, especially now in this society that we live in right now, people, they believe what they believe. They follow what they want to follow. So all I can do is go out there and do my job, which is win. And at the end of the day, people will see it for what it is, and people will take it for what it is.
Now you've been having this camp in Colorado, but you previously your home base is Florida. And I've been to these gyms. They're not far apart. I'm sure you guys have some acquaintances that Has he been training for you, or is he coming into this fight on 6 days? The true 6 days notice.
He's been training like that. Don't be fooled by that. Everyone's like, oh, he's coming off the couch to fight. Like he's no Tank Abbott. This guy's been training. Have you seen the videos? He's bringing in this wrestler, that wrestler. Like that's gonna help. He's been training the whole time. And, and I haven't been worried about him. I've been worried about another guy. And so, I'm just excited that it's finally here and we get it. I mean, fingers crossed, but we still got a couple more hurdles to get through, but fingers crossed. And hopefully July 11th, we'll both be stepping in there.
What was yesterday like, knowing that he had to pass a COVID test and he's been down there in Florida? What was yesterday like for you?
It was just, couldn't get too excited because, he still had to pass the test. And on top of it, we still got 2 more tests that he has to get through. And so I guess they're choosing to take their own accommodations as far as and transportation as far as getting there. I just hope, everything goes smoothly, that these guys don't make a pit stop somewhere and end up picking up something to where by the time we get there and testings go wrong. So I'm hoping they're taking all the precautions they can.
So when you were in Dallas and after you found out about the fight, did you go and stay with your family, or did you stay in a hotel? You went and stay with your family?
Yeah, I just called my mom and dad and said, hey, you guys can pick me up. I'm at the airport. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm at the airport. I'm like, all right. So they came and got me. I stayed with them, and I had a pretty a fun workout that night, trying to get off all that food that I consumed that night before. But it's like I said, the story of my career. I've been the guy who's been able to change up at that drop of a dime, to get that weight back down, be the guy to go in there as a replacement for a title fight, who, knowing that there's a 99% chance that I might not fight, go out there, cut weight and make weight, in order to do that. So I've always been that guy, and that's not going to change.
Did you have any, because a lot of people don't know this, but did you have any interesting conversations with your father? There will be a story coming out on ESPN later about the relationship with your father, and he actually got out of federal prison earlier this year.
No,
Having the
I
chance
mean,
to go home and see him, did you guys have it? And what was
yeah,
the
we
reaction like?
talk. Yeah, we all talk. I mean, mom and dad. It's crazy in how much they're into the sport right now. Like they just watch everything. You know, they're fans of yours too. Any and every time a new article comes up, anything pops up on YouTube, they're on it. They're on me. Yeah, this one just came out 20 minutes ago. I'm like, I don't even care about it. I don't even know anything about any of that. But they're on it, and they're humongous fans of the sport right now. And even my mom gives me advice to that. My mom's like, you know, when he throws this, he's trying to do this stupid knee. You know, you step back and you and of course, you know, it's mom talking, so you got to take the advice. So I'm
For
like, okay,
sure.
yeah, mom. Yeah, I got. Oh yeah, that knee, I got it. I'm on it.
So, I believe that by the time you land in Abu Dhabi, you'll have what, like 2.5 days to make weight. Is that right? And
I think so.
I think that essentially all of that time will be spent in the hotel room because they make you quarantine when you get over there, right?
Yes, sir.
So, so you have to travel, you have to overcome whatever you ate at the Las Vegas, restaurants and airports,
Yes.
and you have to do it in a hotel room. Are there
Mm-hmm.
any concerns, and how are you expecting this weight cut to go?
I'm expecting it not to be fun, you know, but there's always concerns. But at the end of the day, I've always been that guy to where wherever there's a will, there's a way, and that's not going to stop me from doing my job, and that's making the weight. I've always been professional. I've always been able to make the weight, even though I've gone through extensive circumstances in order to be able to do that I never really talk about. But you know, this will be no different. Um, Sunday, I'm just sitting here with my belt and then basically having a conversation with you and not even remembering all of the crap that I just went through the last 7 days in order to get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Few more questions for you. The just fighting Jorge himself, and you mentioned that some of the narrative that's already out there about this fight with the headlines. You've kind of piled onto that because I mean you've said in the past that this guy ain't very good. I mean he's not the guy that the media props him up to be, and now like you mentioned he is coming in on 6 days notice. If he beats you, whether you think that narrative is true or not, he did beat you on 6 days notice. Is this the most pressure you've ever felt going into a fight because of those reasons?
Oh man, this. I mean, pressure is pressure. You know, it doesn't matter where it comes from. And pressure is pressure. You get that same feeling. I mean, look at the Covington fight. Nobody wants to lose to that guy. You know, think of the think of the pressure that was leading up to that fight. You know, think of the pressures that leading up to your first big title fight against the great Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
You know, think of the pressures of going into a fight against the most dangerous submission specialist we've ever seen in the UFC. So pressure is pressure. There's always pressure. It's just how you deal with it. And like I said, on Sunday, I won't even remember any of it. Then I
Mhm.
start thinking back, like, what happened? What? I don't even remember all the pressures or all the things that I had to do in order to get to that point. So pressure is pressure is just how I'm able to deal with it and overcome. That's going to be the telling point.
One thing Jorge said over the last 24 hours is that he said, if I run into him in the hallway, I can't say that I won't break his face. That's how he characterizes his feelings towards you. And you guys have had some back and forth, but as of this moment, knowing that you're about to fly to Abu Dhabi to fight the guy, what are your feelings towards Jorge Masvidal?
Um, I'm gonna be honest, be dead honest. You think if Jorge saw me in a hallway, you think he was gonna break my face?
Well, I will say that I think he added that he would not because he wouldn't get paid to do it, but that he would want to, right?
Okay, yeah. If we saw in the hallway, I guarantee you, he would look down or look away and walk by. Same I would do. I would just walk by. One, because we both know there's a lot of money at stake here that we both need to make. It's a
Yeah.
lot of money. And two, because like he has this narrative and everyone thinks that he's this gangster, this tough guy. You know, like we all know he's a fighter. He's gonna fight. He's put in a certain situation. Of course, he's gonna fight back. But he's not this animal that everybody thinks he is. You know, he's a regular freaking guy. You know that if he saw me, he would walk by. I would walk by. Now, if we started exchanging words, situation got out of hand. Of course, we would both be put in a situation where we would scrap. But don't let this guy fool you thinking that he would just run up and attack me. He ran up on me at Radio Row. You saw that. I was by myself, dolo, just me. He came with his camera crews. He came with him, his cousin, his brother. He brought another dude with him. Like, you know, he brought several people. If you had a problem with somebody and you really wanted to do something at first sight, it's on site. You make it happen. You get it popping. But he didn't do that. So it is what it is, man. I'm at this point, just similar to the Covington fight, I'm just tired of talking about it. I just want to get in there and compete.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's leave it with this then. Here's what he said. He was asked for a prediction on the fight. Okay. Here's what he said. His body grasping for air as I raise my hands over him, baptizing him for the world to see. So you tell us, what are we going to see on Saturday at UFC 251?
All I'm going to say is I'm going to bless him with these hands in any way possible. Whether he's on his back, I will bless him with these fists. Whether he's standing up, I will bless him with these fists. And so it's up to him how he's able to handle that. Whether he lets me bless him quickly in the first round and you know, there's no more suffering, or he could take it like Covington and I'll bless him for 24 minutes until I get him out of it.
One last question for you, Kamaru, then we'll let you go. Which will be more satisfying, Colby Covington or Jorge Masvidal?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I think I would say Jorge Masvidal. I think right now in the world, he's the biggest, baddest challenge for me to have. Like, I don't dismiss him at all. I know this guy's tough. I know this is going to be if he's smart, he came out prepared for a dogfight. So I don't dismiss him at all. This is going to be the biggest, baddest dude that I've fought till date. And so, yes, of course, I would say being able to overcome this would be the most satisfying.
Kamaru, thank you so much for the time, man. I'm happy that we're still going to see you on Fight Island at UFC 251. I'm sure you're looking forward to getting over there, man. Good luck with the weight cut and best of luck in the fight.
Thank you. Thanks, Brett.